I'm Michael Poliakoff, President of the American Council of Trustees and Alumni, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to welcome you tonight to this gala dinner in celebration of the 12th Annual Philip Merrill Award. Auspicious is the word that comes to mind as I look at this audience of ACTA friends and supporters, of scholars, of policymakers, of parents and grandparents who want a high-quality, affordable education for the next generation. And speaking of the next generation, auspicious, too, to see the students from the Princeton Open Campus Coalition, the Alexander Hamilton Institute, the William F. Buckley Program, and the salad course seems auspicious, too, so please keep eating. Our board chair, Dr. Lewitt, is going to be asking a number of you to stand and be acknowledged before the evening is over. But for now, keep enjoying your meal. But do look around for a moment. This building, the Folger Shakespeare Library, has particular meaning for us. We are more or less in the presence of 82 copies of the first folio of the Bard's work, and some 7,000 different editions of Shakespeare in over 70 languages. And I think the Bard would be happy to know that we are here. Last year, for the third time in our 21 years, ACTA took aim at the English departments that strut and fret their hours at the lectern and glibly cut Shakespeare out of the requirements even for English majors. We really do consider some of the university programs that we saw, and again, to quote the Bard, tales full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. We found one program that allows a course called Gender, Sexuality, and Literature, Our Cyborgs Ourselves. And that substitutes for a course on Shakespeare. Another university had a course and gives that same privilege of substitution to one called Race, Space, and Culture. Now, ACTA friends are familiar with our focus on the 3 A's. The first of those A's is academic excellence. For the 8th year, we have surveyed the core curriculum requirements at colleges and universities, now for over 1,100 schools. We do not believe it is acceptable to place before a group of young adults a vast array of choices, often including the truly ridiculous. Courses on zombies and Harry Potter and Lady Gaga. I am not making this up. We do not believe it is acceptable for colleges to preach multiculturalism, but to pretend that students don't need the experience of learning the language of another culture. We have called out schools for doing diversity on the cheap without the hard and disciplined work of learning a foreign language. I don't want this to be too negative. There are institutions, a number of which are represented here tonight, that have boldly and intentionally resisted the downward slide. We used to get some rather lurid hate mail this season when we released our findings, but now we get rather thoughtful inquiries about how to do better. As a professor, I took no joy in giving out bad grades. Now, as then, our goal is to raise standards and change behavior. And noting that only 18% of our colleges and universities require a foundational course in United States history or government, this year we focused on the crisis of civic education, discovering along the way that 10% of college graduates in a multiple-choice survey believe that Judith Sheindlin, otherwise known as Judge Judy, sits on the U.S. Supreme Court. Perhaps even more frightening, nearly half failed to identify the term lengths of members of Congress. And again, I say this was multiple choice. This was about as easy as you get. So ACTA followed up with a study that pointed out how few colleges require even their history majors to take a single course on the United States. I know our Merrill Award winner, Dr. Ferguson, will share some important reflections about the deterioration of the study of history in our colleges and universities. We have to turn this around. We are working to turn this around. We got wonderful response from the public and the media, from the Wall Street Journal to the Washington Post. What we have to do now is to make schools change their ways, and we're going to do it. This has been a challenging year as well for our second A, academic freedom, as was the previous year. You may recall George Orwell's totalitarian state of 1984 had a language called Newspeak, whose vocabulary got smaller every year as potentially challenging words were eliminated from speech. Today, many campuses, the hunt to eliminate microaggressions like, America is the land of opportunity. Again, I am not joking. That hunt is in full force. Books that now need warnings lest sensitive students be traumatized range from Ovid to F. Scott Fitzgerald to Nobel laureate Chinua Achebe. But there is light. The list of schools that have adopted clear policies protecting free expression is steadily growing. As we eat tonight, ACTA's letter to over 21,000 trustees around the country is hitting the mailboxes. This is a fight we will have to win. We are doing everything we can to make sure that trustees turn to the Chicago principles to assert that free speech is a crucial value of their institutions. Indoctrination is not education, and the oxygen that keeps liberal learning alive is academic freedom. ACTA's third A is accountability. A few weeks ago, we launched our latest initiative to challenge schools to make instruction and not administration their funding priority. We mined the federal database to see which schools had most egregiously bloated their bureaucracies. And now a stream of letters from trustees and 3 from state governors show us that the reckoning has started. America outspends every other nation in the world per pupil in higher education. ACTA is going to fight to keep tuitions low and revenue directed at teaching and learning. And tonight we celebrate the launch of a crucial new initiative, the expansion of our fund for Academic Renewal. From its very beginnings, ACTA has zealously guarded donor intent and has urged alumni to support their institutions in meaningful ways, ways that build centers for the study of Western civilization, for the study of free markets, ways that promote intellectual diversity. Now, through the generosity of the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation, we have the resources to advise and help prospective donors, cost-free, to direct their philanthropy. We have a dedicated executive director. Please stand, Jacqueline Merrill. We have a legal advisor. We have staff. We are ready to go. We are going to move higher education philanthropy away from reinforcing the status quo to making our campuses places where the free exchange of ideas and the indefatigable pursuit of truth can flourish. Diana Davis Spencer was unable to be with us tonight, but her daughter, Abby Moffat, CEO of the foundation, is here to say a few words about this groundbreaking project. Abby?
It's really a joy to be with all of you tonight, and what a long way ACTA has come. We had the privilege of meeting the original founder with Ann Neal, Jerry Martin, at a dinner party in McLean, Virginia. Many of you may know Kurt and Ann Windsor, and they invited us and they said, this is a group you need to get behind. Those were in the early days, and we said, you know what, you're right. This is a group to get behind, and we've been blessed to be able to partner with them to develop this center, which is extremely exciting. And the work they are doing is going to make such a difference across the whole United States, all the colleges and universities. And I can tell you, as a parent of a senior in high school looking at colleges, I got rather depressed reading the report, because many of the schools are getting D's and F's that my son is looking at, thinking this is great. And we're paying for this? And as my late grandfather, Shelby Cullum Davis, would say, history repeats itself. But with ACTA coming on board and making a difference, maybe we have a chance. And all of us coming together to join us in this effort. ACTA is the lead, and they will bring other organizations to help and other people, because this group is amazing. They get things done. Thanks to the leadership of Michael and Jackie and all the team and the board, ACTA's going places. And also thanks to Ann Neal's great leadership. She brought us into the fold a little more, and we're very, very thankful. Let's say a toast to ACTA. ACTA.
So we at ACTA pour our hearts into our work. Okay, another Shakespeare quote, we few, we happy few, because we know that we have such wonderful friends who have supported us in so many ways. Thank you for being with us tonight. Enjoy your meal and the fellowship at the table. We'll be back with an extraordinary program when we welcome Dr. Ferguson and through video, Ayan Hirsi Ali, a little later on. Thanks so much.